How's it going, softball fans? Adam Paul, Brent Brennan here at Cathedral Catholic. We're breaking down all the softball games as the playoffs just got announced over the weekend on Saturday here in San Diego section. And let's get to Division One. Not as appealing when you look at it on paper as D2 or the Open Division. There's a lot of great teams in this bracket too that make it an interesting bracket to talk about as we go over the seeds. Grossmont got the 1, RBV the 2, Carlsbad the 3, 4 is Eastlake. The top 4 seeds. All 4 of those teams could have been the Open. They didn't make it. They're in D1 now. Any other seeds where you're kind of like, maybe they probably should have been the Open, or maybe they got a little too high of a seed, or is there any paths that you think might be a little difficult for somebody, to win this thing?
Well, the fact, like you said, Grossmont getting the number 1, they flip-flopped between the Open and the number 1 seed in Division 1, so the number 9. But having to play Eastlake in that potentially in that next Saturday's matchup, that's going to be brutal. Like you said, like we saw them, Eastlake beat them, so you don't know what you're going to get. That potential rematch is a tough path for both teams, I think.
Yeah, Eastlake hit Grossmont's pitching very well. Grossmont didn't really have an answer for Eastlake's 2 pitchers that they had. The two-headed monster of the off speed and then the gasser. But Eastlake's been struggling of late. They haven't been able to really catch fire in the second half of the season. They kind of struggled this year in the Metro Mesa League, which was kind of surprising for both of us as we watch the season play out. So that's interesting to me. A couple other things. I think Rancho Bernardo is kind of high at the 5 seed. You can make the argument that maybe LCC or Ramona could have snuck past them potentially, or even Del Norte. And I know RB finished ahead of Del Norte in their respective standings in the league, but RB to me was kind of high because I think West Hills has the ability to beat them in the first round as the 12 seed. Other than that, Torrey Pines getting a 10. Ramona, watch out, because Ramona kind of has a lot of ups and downs this year, and I guess same with Torrey, but that's another potential matchup that might be a little concerning if you were the favorite, as you will, based on seeding.
Yeah.
Let's get to the bracket right now. First round of the play-in type games where if you lose, you're out. You don't get to go to a loser's bracket. Let's go right now. Del Norte will beat Escondido, in my opinion. I think West Hills is going to beat Rancho Bernardo. I'm buying on your Santee East County bias. I think West Hills gets it done against Rancho Bernardo. They played a tough league out there, the Grossmont Hills League. They finished in last in the Grossmont Hills League, but that is, in fact, the best league out here in San Diego. If not the best, then one of the best leagues. As far as La Costa Canyon Point, Patrick Henry, LCC is going to beat Patrick Henry. Ramona's going to beat Torrey Pines. Next round, Grossmont will beat Del Norte. Eastlake will beat West Hills. Carlsbad will beat LCC. An interesting matchup up there. 2 potential close teams playing each other again. And then Rancho Buena Vista will beat Ramona. So pretty straightforward. I have all the higher seeds advancing. This is where it gets interesting, though. I got Rancho Buena Vista beating Carlsbad to go to the semifinals. And then I got Eastlake upsetting Grossmont this time around in the semis. RBV will beat Eastlake at the Sportsplex to punch their ticket to UCSD. Losers bracket. West Hills beat Del Norte, Ramona beat LCC, Carlsbad will beat West Hills, Grossmont will beat Ramona, Grossmont will beat Carlsbad, Grossmont will play Eastlake again and beat Eastlake, and then Grossmont will beat Rancho Buena Vista in the final. I have Grossmont winning the whole thing, just not as straightforward as you would think.
Well, yeah, definitely. My picks, the opening games, the playing games, as you will, because like you said, if you lose, you're done. I have Escondido actually beating Del Norte. Then West Hills again beating Rancho Bernardo for the 3rd straight year. Coach Applebaum his philosophy is, we're in the playoffs. It's anybody's game now. Start over. And he's done really well the last couple of years with his girls in the playoffs. So I like the Wolfpack to beat the Broncos of Rancho Bernardo. I have LCC beating Patrick Henry. I have Ramona beating Torrey Pines. Ramona beating Torrey Pines. In the second game on next Thursday, second games, I have Grossmont beating Escondido. I have Eastlake beating West Hills. I have Carlsbad beating LCC, and I have RBV beating Ramona. Pretty straightforward. All the high seeds making it, like you said. In the losers bracket, I have West Hills beating Escondido, Ramona beating LCC, and then back in the upper bracket, I have Carlsbad actually losing to RBV, so RBV beating Carlsbad to advance, and Carlsbad play West Hills. I have actually West Hills beating Carlsbad to make it to the Sportsplex.
Sounds like a dark horse.
And then I have Ramona beating Eastlake, who actually lost to Grossmont this time. So in the losers bracket, I have Ramona beating Eastlake, so I have West Hills versus Ramona in that, excuse me, the loser bracket semi. I have Ramona actually beating West Hills. Grossmont RBV, I actually have Rancho Buena Vista beating Grossmont, so Grossmont will end up playing Ramona. And then I have Grossmont defeating Ramona for the second time this season. So I have RBV playing Grossmont in the championship game, but I actually have opposite of you. I have Rancho Buena Vista beating Grossmont in the championship game.
Well, as we've been breaking down all these brackets throughout the night, it seems like our final 4 teams are kind of the same. Just the path they got there a little bit creative sometimes than others. Potential games that you'd like to see: La Costa Canyon Torrey Pines is a game that might happen. That might be a good one, just because it's 2 teams of rival schools play in the same league. I think that one could potentially happen. It's going to be difficult for that to happen, but that's a game that would be interesting to see. Eastlake and Grossmont, the rematch, that's a little bit easier to happen this time because if it plays out the way it should be, those 2 teams should play. And then I also have Grossmont and Ramona. Like you said, they already played earlier this year. I think that's going to be another potential good game. As far as my dark horse is concerned, I have the Eastlake Titans, because you never know what you're going to get with Eastlake. They might just turn around and start being the team that they were at the beginning of the season, here late in the season. And if I'm any team in Division I, I don't want to play Eastlake.
No, yeah, definitely not Titans. Like you said, they played really well that first half. They were in our top 10 for quite a while, then they kind of tailed off there. My interesting matchups are Grossmont, Rancho Buena Vista. I have them in the semis, so hopefully that pans out. Ramona versus Grossmont is another one they played earlier this year. Grossmont, this time it actually was at Grossmont, so this time it'll be on a neutral site. Ramona RBV is another potential good one. LCC Torrey Pines, any team that West Hills plays, because West Hills I think can give them a really good game, especially in the playoffs, where the last couple of years they've had really good success getting in the playoffs. West Hills Carlsbad is another one, because Carlsbad was another one of the interesting teams I know you and I talked about off camera. Just a little inconsistent here and there. They have the potential. They were in our top 10 for a little bit there. I know a lot of talking to other people. They've said, yeah, same thing. Carlsbad, pretty good, but they just got to play more consistently. My dark horse, I was going to go with West Hills. I think they'll make it pretty far in the bracket, but actually my dark horse is Ramona. Look out for the Bulldogs. I know that they were in the championship, the Open Division Championship game last year. Lost to obviously quite a few of their graduates. They're not playing quite up to the up to par as they were last year. But I think Alexa Neal and Seneca Curo, as long as they get some pitching, the offense can take care of the rest.
So those are our picks. Those are our matchups to watch. So let's check out the players we want to see. Real quick, Alexa Neal, like we've been saying, we've had a couple shout-outs to her already this year. She's a great player. She's got 24 stolen bases and hitting over 645 batting average up there in Ramona. And then we got Kylie Acqui of Torrey Pines. She's got 20 stolen bases, second most in this division behind Neal with a 565 batting average. They can get on base and then steal a couple bags. Seneca Curo of Ramona, 9 home runs this year. Angelina Russo of La Costa Canyon, she's struck out over 103 batters this year. And then Paige Dimmler, the freshman of Rancho Buena Vista, she's got 38 RBIs and 11 home runs, which I'm pretty sure is second or third to Colleen Sullivan of Poway, and then of course the Mashers up there at San Marcos.
Absolutely. Paige Dimmler, man, what a breakout year for a freshman. That's totally awesome. You talked about Alexa Neal. Did you know? CIF record. She's about to become a CIF record holder. Her next base hit will be her 65th on the season. That will break Allie Gunter's record from when she played at Christian back in 2009. So 64 is the all-time record right now. They are currently tied. So the next hit by by Alexa Neal will set the all-time section record for most hits in a season. That's pretty cool.
You better not just jinx her and put her in a
Oh,
slot.
no.
Better not just happen.
But I just wanted to point that out because that was really cool when I found that out.
You're the record guy with all your other records you set throughout.
Yeah. My other picks are Eastlake. Charlize Palacios hitting .511, 13 runs, 3 homers. From Escondido, Hannah Ice. She has a 9-1 record. Scored 20 runs, 3 home runs, 373 average. Ashley Hartwig of West Hills, 525 average, 5 home runs, 17 runs, 27 ribbies. Gabby Coppinger, also of West Hills, 2 of the big bats in that lineup. 404 average, 11 runs, 4 doubles. Grossmont, Kati Contreras, one of the big boppers in that lineup. 6 home runs, 20 ribbies, 450 average, and scored 24 runs. That finalizes my big shout-outs.
Those are shout-outs, players to watch as you look over the Division I playoffs here in San Diego, California. For Adam Paul, I'm Braden Spread. Be sure to check out all the other videos on our YouTube page, SouthernCaliforniaPrepInsider.com, as well as our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all those social media sites to be able to see and catch up on all the action here in San Diego, California, and so in the San Diego section as we play out the softball playoffs here in 2018.